Okay guys, so I've just got back from a quick drive with the Land Rover. I put these freewheeling hubs into the 4x4 mode, so I'll actually get the half shafts and differential moving within the front axle to warm up the oil as best I can. Obviously the rear axle all moves anyway, so the plan is to change the oil in both axles today. So apart from, because one of you asked me, the swivel housing grease, I'm probably not going to change that. I will do at some point, I guess, but I'm not going to change that because, why am I not going to change that? Well, I guess because it's really glutinous stuff and I don't know if it's as susceptible to moisture as the more liquid oil, or the oil I should say, that goes into the engine, gearbox and axles. So maybe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it absorbs moisture as readily as all the other oils, and that should be changed as well. Maybe you can give me some feedback on that actually. Do I need to do the swivel housing grease as regularly, let's say, as the engine oil? Let me know. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do today. Drain the oils, front and back axle, and top them back up again. Okay, so the first thing that's worth doing is, although this is quite new, is just to make sure you can undo this one before you drain the oil out, because obviously it'd be a bit of a disaster if you drained the oil out and couldn't get the filler cap undone. I know everybody tells you that on the internet, but it's worth saying. Okay, there we go. That's that one. Interestingly, the front axle has a standard socket fitting, but this rear one has the slot just like the transfer case, so I'm going to have to get a tool to open that very quickly. Okay, so there is a proper tool for doing this, but what I'm using, I don't know if you can see that, is like a pry bar, because it's got quite a wide end, and a adjustable wrench, so I can actually get some leverage on it. But I'm probably going to find now that this is too long. This is slightly Heath Robinson, but if you don't have the proper tools, then one needs to make do. Oh, there we go. Goodness me, that's quite... I just realised that apart from this one, the two front ones that I just loosened off were really, not very tight at all. So, worth checking those, definitely. Actually, I'm going to take that out first. Oh, bloody Nora. Did you just hear that? That was quite a lot of pressure built up on there. I wonder if this... that is interesting. Do you remember, I've mentioned before that the hub on this right-hand side leaks. And one of you mentioned that maybe the banjo, I think this is called a banjo, or a valve up here on the axle, might be blocked. And I've just gone to move this, because I think they should be movable, and there's no movement in it whatsoever. This is absolutely solid. So I'm going to take this off as well, and see if I can loosen that up, because as I say, I don't know if you heard that when I undid this, but it just went tss. So obviously there's a lot of build-up of pressure in here. Interesting. Okay, well, another job. It's always typical with the Land Rover, you do one job and then it creates another one, but it does make it all better. So I'm sure there's a much easier way than doing this. I'm sure most of you look at me going, what the hell are you doing? But this is what I have. Just get my hands out of the way so you can see it. Well, hey, nice. Pretty black, I might admit. Pretty black indeed. and very frothy because I've just been for a drive and I've just covered my gloves in oil. Never mind. Cool. Okay, well, let's let that drip, and then I'll go and do the front. I might also add, it is incredibly warm today. Again, I think it's 30 degrees. And I've got the car right in the sun as well. I did that partly because it's nicer to work under the car when it's outside, but also because of the light. It's very difficult to get the right light when filming. So outside's usually the best light. Okay, so that didn't hiss at all. So I don't know if you can see that up there. I'm not going to move the camera again, but this this valve on the top of the front axle is free and it moves. So I reckon that's an issue with the back axle, is that that valve is solid and blocked. Right, let's see if I can get this everywhere as well. In fact, what I might go and do is get some proper plastic gloves. Okay, I just realised that the cool thing about these gloves, these plastic ones, is that you can work the iPhone with them as well. Because with the normal gloves, you keep having to take them. I keep having to take them off to turn the press record and stuff. Anyway, so we now have the right gloves on for the job. Don't want to get it absolutely everywhere, so just keep it in there as long as I can. Ooh, I don't know if you can see the difference in colour, but that is, well, it actually smells quite nice. But that is more honey coloured than the back axle. The back axle was completely black, but this is pretty good still. Purely because I have the freewheeling hubs and it literally never gets used, the front axle, so that's just been sitting there doing nothing, that oil. But you can see the difference between a really used oil and this one. Not that I've done many miles in the car, but nonetheless, over the couple of years of just the bit of driving I've done since Christmas, over the last 6 or 7 months, again, which isn't much, it does make a difference. So I'm quite pleased I'm doing this. So I'm going to let that drain for a little bit and get the new oil and put it in. Okay, so we are still dripping a bit there, but I think it's going to be fine. I put some PTFE tape on the drain plug. I know some people like doing that, some people don't. The reason why I do it is obviously to get a better seal, but also because there are no kind of brass or copper washers on these drain plugs. So just trying to get the best seal, really. go. I don't know what torque wrench setting these are supposed to be torqued up to, but I just sort of get them, you know, just snug, nice and tight. Okay. Okay, so I've got my gear oil. I had the rest of it, this was empty, but I had a 5-litre canister, and just because it's got this pouring spout, I've filled this up. So this is 1 litre. The Rover axles take 1.7 litres, front and back. Okay, let's see how we get on. Oopla. Easy does it. Okay, I'm just going to stop videoing there because it's very boring watching somebody pour oil into an axle. Okay, that's got the oil in. I'm just going to put the filler cap in and then do the same at the back. But before I do the back, I'm going to have a look at that. Oh, hang on. This is the wrong one. This is from the back axle. Whoops. Let me get the proper one. There we go, try again. That's the right one here. Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that that breather valve at the top there, just to get that working again. It's clearly not working. Okay, lovely. Okay, so I've just got this breather valve off of the back here, and the simplest way of testing it is to blow through it, and yeah, there's no restrictions whatsoever, so I don't quite understand why, when I took that filler plug off, there was a huge, you know, like an escape of pressurized air. I really don't know. I'll have to check whether there's a blockage maybe in the hole itself where this goes in, but I don't know how these work, so maybe one of you guys knows. When I blow through this end, air clearly escapes from this hole, but I don't know if anything here should be moving. It looks like it should. Maybe something should move up and down or something. You would imagine, yeah, because when I blow in, so you can blow and suck and the air goes freely through, so I can imagine it's not working, because you wouldn't want water just pouring in there if you were going off-roading. So I'm guessing this isn't working properly, but I don't know what's supposed to move here. Maybe that top part is supposed to move up and down. I'll give it a clean up and see what happens. Okay, so this is quite interesting. I actually just heated this this valve up, and this top part, which I guess is steel, oops, where are we? Here, which is steel, I was able to turn that and it came out. And then I sort of dug about in there a little bit, and there was a lot of, you can see it all here, all like rust and dirt, and there's a little ball bearing in there. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to clean all that up, and I don't know, maybe by heating it up I've melted a gasket or something. Again, I don't know, because obviously if you just push that in there, I don't know. Maybe it's glued in there. I can't imagine that's the case. But anyway, I don't know. I'm sure one of you will know, but I'm going to clean it all up, put it back together, and hopefully then we have a working valve. Okay, so I've completely cleaned this up a bit. Also sort of just tried to reshape the edges a little bit. I cleaned that up all inside, you can see. Where can you see? Well, a bit like that. It was just all full of rust and dirt. This is the cap, which is clearly tapered because it does sort of tap into there and stays in. Now this is the ball bearing, and I guess you would say that needs replacing, and I would absolutely agree with you. other than the fact that I haven't got one. So I've cleaned it up as much as I can, and I'll put some oil in there. I won't put any grease in there, obviously, because that'll probably stop it from moving. Bit of WD-40 in there, whoops, and look to get another one. Don't know if any of you know what size this is. It's so eaten away. Look at it. Looks like the surface of the moon or something. But if you know the size of that, then I could get another one ordered and then put it in. But clearly, this valve was not working. Okay, so give that a bit of a clean up here. I put that breather valve back together, and it clearly works now. So here it is, and if you listen very carefully, that ball bearing moves inside. So whichever one of you it was who suggested that when I had trouble with the leaky hubs, I think you were absolutely right. So that is now going back on. And I'll be interested to see how that changes things, because yesterday I tightened up that hub and I've still got oil coming out of it. Okay, so that is in. What am I going to do now? I am going to push that out of the way and start. Clean this off. I hope you can see more than just my armpit at the moment, but I think we're looking good there. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, klar. Never mind. I really must get the right tool for this, because this is almost embarrassing to film. You're all probably thinking, oh, for God's sake, restored a Land Rover and he still hasn't even got the simplest of tools. But yeah, you would be right. So, oh, it's still going. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Right, time for the oil. 1.7 litres. Okay, so put all the oil in. Bit of a PTFE tape in there. Okay. Okay, so we're in, that's done. And that is another jobbed for another, I don't know, how many miles is that going to last for? At least 2 years, I think, because I don't do much mileage in it, but I think you've got to change the the oil, I think at least every 2 years, regardless of mileage, I would say. But anyway, there we go, all done. So as I say, having cleaned this yesterday, you can see the still oil coming out of there. Obviously it would have made a massive difference that these are now tight, but what I'm going to do is just give it a clean up one last time and see if that now does it, now that I've repaired that valve. Okay. These are all chips actually here from where I've chipped the paint trying to take. Oh no, that one wasn't obviously. But here you can see on there where I've chipped the paint using the wrench to take off the wheel nuts. Okay guys, so that's quite a good innings for this weekend actually. So I got the spare wheel cleaned up and painted, and did the oils in the axles and mended that valve. So yeah, quite pleased for a weekend's work. So yeah, let's see what happens next. What I'm thinking would be really cool for the car is to get a soft top, but that is mega money, and I've got other things which I need to prioritise, like the Porsche for example. But it would be really cool to get a hood on this. I've always wanted one. There's so many things that I said I've always wanted for this car, but it's just true. You know, if you owned a Land Rover long enough, and when you get it when you're 17, you make these plans in your head and how you can make it better and all the extras you want, but you know, that's at a time when you can't afford anything other than to barely keep it on the road. But then get a bit older and you know, you start to be able to afford certain things. So maybe at some point we'll get a soft top for it. I've actually got a set of hood sticks just for the rear section still in my workshop in Kent in the UK, but they're missing the door frame parts and the strip that goes across the front. So if any of you know of a hood and you know, a full frame or a partial frame, the bits that I need, then please do let me know. I'd be very interested in buying one. I don't want a blue one or a green one, I want a sandstone colour one, just to be really picky. Okay, till the next time, see you later.